Listen, laugh, and learn with Sacha and Ish as they share their experiences, thoughts, and tips to build skills that are not so average and a career that's not so ordinary. This is the Not So Breakfast Show.
All right, welcome to Not So Breakfast Show today, the podcast for leadership and career development. And today it's a special Sunday morning edition. Well, we're recording on a Sunday morning, which is not a normal for us. And while most people, some people, a few people are off at church, we are here talking about ask holes, which sounds a little counterintuitive for a Sunday. But before we get in and explain what an ask hole is and how to avoid being one and maybe how to ask better questions to get what you want, the least ask hole of them all, Sacha Coburn, what's going on? You are not in your normal digs today. Whereabouts are you?
No, I am in Otatahi, Christchurch, in the Coffee Culture head office, in fact. And I love the fact that we're doing church this morning. You and me are communing. And I know the Bible says, whenever one or two are gathered in my name. Now, don't know about the in the name bit this morning, but I do know that it's good to be doing the Not So Breakfast Show actually at breakfast time.
It is actually. It feels a little bit different. And we're both sharp. We haven't been drained by the day yet and violated by all the things that we have to do.
Completely. And I don't know about you, but I certainly did nothing to impede my brain power last night. I have had an alcohol-free, fun-free Saturday night. I actually spent last night in Ashburton.
Oh, wow. That's why it's alcohol-free. There's nothing to do there.
Well, maybe that's why you need more alcohol, in fact. But as I was walking up and down Kmart at about 9:30 last night, and Ashburton's a small rural farming town in New Zealand. It's a beautiful... Ash Vegas. It's a beautiful little place. But as I was wandering the aisles of Kmart at 9:30 on a Saturday night, I just had this little thought that popped into my head, and it was... What's become of you?
What was that? Because of our conversation last night where we were trying to actually pin down a time to record the show, and you sent me a text that had some time options, including this time option, several other time options for a Sunday, not Thursday, and then a couple for Friday. And then I went back and said, Thursday at 3:30 p.m. works great for me, of which you then called me immediately and said, have you been drinking?
It wasn't our finest communication moment. So I'm picking that by recording this in the morning, we have the best possible chance of being super sharp and smart.
Absolutely. Well, today we're talking about ask holes. And ask holes are people that just ask a lot of questions or ask for a lot of things and either don't do anything with it or just continue to keep asking because they haven't got what they want. So we want to look at how do you ask for what you want in a way that is more likely for you to get what you want, because there is a little bit of strategy about it rather than just pouncing up to someone, asking maybe for the wrong thing or not clear enough or not in the right way, or you just ask the wrong person. And as a result, you don't get what you want. So let's unpack how not to be an asshole.
Yeah, as soon as you describe somebody who just asks lots and lots of questions, as I just think back to when like kids are little and they just are this fountain of curiosity and they ask lots and lots of questions and they ask why over and over and over and over and over again. And I think some people don't grow out of that.
Yeah.
They don't grow out of, before I look for something, I'll just ask someone else. So before I do a tiny bit of research myself, I'll just ask the person nearest to me. I am very guilty of this, so I'm really looking forward to learning some stuff today. My instinct is if I want to know something is just to ask someone else.
Yeah.
It's good to be curious, right? It's good to be curious. It's good to want to know things, but yeah, go. Help me.
I think what we do is we ask for what we want, but we ask in a way that's trying to give ourselves clarity. So we end up just kind of asking a few questions of people, which probably isn't the wrong strategy. But if you are trying to get something or get an outcome, wouldn't it be better to at least define what it is that you want first, so that when you go to ask your questions, they have a little bit of intelligence in behind them or a little bit of preparation in behind them. I'm busy in my role. I don't have time to sit down while you do your therapy in front of me, whatever it is that you're going to do, to try to ask me a million questions to get what you want. Do a little bit of prep first of all. So one, you're not wasting my time, and two, we can get you what you need faster because you're clear on what it is that you need. And that's really where we're going to be starting the conversation today. What do you actually want before we start going down the conversation route?
Oh, it's been so helpful that you've clarified this now, because somebody on Ish's team, this podcast is for you, and I hope you're listening.
I've got a massive team, Sash.
Could be anybody. But you've heard the man. He's busy. He ain't got time for you to do therapy in front of him. Do some preparation before you come and ask your questions.
Nice.
I love it.
Oh, good. It's always good when you can do a podcast that's actually being designed to just make your life easier for the people that you work with.
And better than sending an all-office memo.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, you want to give your communication to the one person, so you just send it to everybody. So not only does the person not land with that email, they go, well, it can't be me if you sent it to everybody.
Everybody else thinks, is it me?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Cool. Okay, so let's say that you've defined what you want and you're clear in your mind by asking yourself some questions, or maybe having a conversation with somebody else prior to the person that may be able to grant it for you. The next one is, why is it actually important to you? Because it might be a question that gets reflected back to you. Okay, but why do you want to do that? Or can you give me an example of why this would be useful? Might be the question that you get back after you ask for something. So having an answer for that and not having to immediately think on your feet. So why do I want it? So let's say that you wanted to do a specific upskill course, and this isn't the example. Sash, this isn't. Whoever's listening, this isn't their example. Someone came in last
week and said, I want to do a course.
Let's just say that you wanted to do a specific upskill course and you're asking for permission to spend some money or do this course or whatever it is. Why is it important? Why this course? Because I'm sure that the person is probably going to ask you that question. And it's not just about randomly doing upskills for the sake of upskills. Think about why it's important. Why this course? Why now? And, how is it actually going to benefit both you and benefit maybe your position or the business? I think it's a really good thing to unpack so that you have the clarity. So you know what you want and you know why you want it or what the benefits would be. From there, you want to define, who are you going to ask? So don't just ask the person that's beside you or maybe your manager, like who actually has the power to grant your wish. If it was a magic genie, you need to find your genie. You need to find the right person so that you're having the right conversations. We've probably both experienced this where someone is trying to sell something and we're just not the right people to be talking to. Or we've wasted time having a conversation with someone that doesn't even have the ability to grant what you want anyway. It might be that you're talking to the wrong part of the business or the person that doesn't have the power to grant your wish. Not that it needs to be a wish, whatever it is, but that's part of your prep as well. If I am going to ask someone and I know what I want and I know why it's important, who should I be having the conversation with?
And sometimes finding out who to ask involves asking someone else who to ask, and that's okay too. So again, as part of your preparation, you might be able to go to someone in your organization, someone in your team, someone who's worked there before, and say, what I'd really like to do is advance this particular project. Who do you think it would be good to surface this with? Now, I just use lots of buzzwords there. Who do I surface this with? But that's kind of part of the exploration project, to make sure that you get the right question in front of the right person.
Yeah.
Who can help you, and who can help you find the person who can help you. And I think one of the things about not being an asshole is to not only ask really good questions, but ironically to keep asking questions, but ask them of different people until you get the answer that you need or the next step in your journey clarified for you. I think what often happens is people will start something, then they give up, and so then they start something else and then they give up, and then they start something and they give up, and so you end up being an asshole because you come back to the same people with lots of different questions rather than finding a much clearer path.
And that's about defining, right? It's not about, oh, mum said no, I'll ask dad. This is just about making sure that you're asking the right questions of people to clarify exactly what it is, or to gather more information so that when you're presenting your case or whatever's happening, you've got a well-rounded discussion point rather than just, literally trying to make it up as you go along.
Yeah, I think one of the useful things that sometimes people do is if they want to talk to me about something, is they might talk to someone in my team and say, hey, I want to pitch this idea to Sacha because I'd like her involvement or investment in a particular thing. How is she going to want to see that from me? And they'll say, send her an email, follow it up with a phone call.
Yeah.
Or phone her and have your email ready to go because she's going to ask for you to email her something.
It's such a good technique for managers to actually ask someone, could you just send me your request again in an email? Basically what it is I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you go away and can you make it clearer and then can you send it through? So like even using that technique as a manager or as someone who is being the person that is asked. What's the opposite of the ask hole? The ask holy. I don't know. It's just like whoever is the one getting the questions. You can help people by getting them to re-clarify what it is, maybe in a different mode or by going away, giving it some thought. Or you could say, look, it sounds really interesting. I'm not saying no, but I need more information. Can you go away, ask a few people, clarify what it is that you want, and then come back to me? And that really leads us maybe into the next thing, which is when is the best time to be asking? So you might want to have some thought about when you should be asking this and making a time to do that, not just going in and pouncing this new question on somebody because all of a sudden you've thought this is going to be a great idea. Everybody needs to know about it, or this person needs to know about it. You interrupt them, and then you get a no. Oh, I wonder why I got a no. Well, you probably got a no because they were really busy. It was the wrong time, and they just wanted you to go away because you hadn't really given it any prep. So recapping through that, so it's what do you want? Why is it important? Who are you going to ask, or who's got the power to grant it to you? And when are you actually going to be asking the question?
Just one last thing on that timing. There's such a paradox in that because so many, great business ideas or great initiatives, they get momentum when someone has like a random meeting with someone, like serendipity. There's some kind of cosmic intervention that means two people are on a plane at an unexpected time and they get chatting and that leads to the formation of some great business concept or they change the world. And we like to take our opportunities. So in the past, I've found myself at functions and there'll be somebody there that I've like always wanted to meet and like pitch something to them or let them know that I was available to help. And I've been caught between this. Yes, but we're just at Rebecca's 40th.
I thought you were going to say Rebecca's funeral. Sorry.
No, Rebecca has not died yet, but I might never have this opportunity again. And so there's this real dilemma, like, do I ask my question now? Do I put my best foot forward? Or do I just wait and let that? And so I'm in favour of shooting your shot. Don't throw away your shot, give it a go, but understanding that this person is having their whole life is full of random people who are excited to meet them and show and pitch their one thing. So to be really respectful of people's time, and that means being really clear, exactly using that framework. What do you want? What's the benefit? When is the right time to ask? What are you asking for? Is it clear? Doing all of that so it's super succinct and you're saying, hi, Oprah, I'm so stoked to meet you. Don't even say that. She knows you're stoked to meet her. Hi, Oprah. And then here's the thing. Here's what you can do. And then get out of there. I think there's a number of times when I've been like midway through a conversation with the person in a social setting like that and it's late at night and I'm going, oh, you just need to pull out. You've got this all wrong. This is horrible. Get out. Get out. Get out while you're still alive. Oh, did I say my name was Sacha? No. My name's Ish.
I love your confidence level that you went straight to Oprah.
Yeah, straight.
I'm on a plane. I'm in a room. Who else is there? Of course it's Oprah. Of course.
How did I get on Oprah's private plane? I don't know, but I'm there.
All right, so now let's flip it slightly and look at the skill side of how not to be an asshole. If you know what you want, can you explain it? So just because it's clear in your head doesn't mean it will be clear in your words. And that ability to have pre-asked on your own or rehearsed or ask someone else, look, I just want to run this by you, and then get them to reflect back, can you explain to me what I'm saying? And if they can't, well, there's probably an issue. Think about that preparation, because you might not get that platform again. So let's say that you have made a time and you've got 20 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it is. Be clear. And that might be that part of your prep might be writing. Like, some people get their thoughts so much clearer when they actually start to script stuff out than if they just ad lib and they just kind of try to do it off the cuff. I know if I'm doing pieces to video, I need bullet points to talk to, because otherwise what will happen is I will start talking and I'll end up filling in a lot of words, but it's not really getting the point across. So by having the bullet points there, I can make sure that I've covered everything off. And then practicing, not just going in the room and going, hey, I've got the skill of being able to talk on video, let's go. The editing is so much harder because I end up, I'm literally practicing as I'm doing it.
There's a fantastic quote I love from this book, Miss Miller's Feeling for Snow. It's a fiction story, but right in the middle of the book, one of the chapters ends with this quote, and it's been translated from a Scandinavian language. Apologies, I think it might be Swedish, but maybe it's Danish or Norwegian, so we're going to offend all of them by not knowing. Sorry, team. It's from one of those languages, but translated into English, it says, to want to understand is an attempt to recapture something that is lost. To want to understand is an attempt to recapture something that is lost. And I know whenever I've been, perhaps let's say a relationship has broken up, and I've been like, I just don't understand. I have so many questions. Like, why? Why? And I have this kind of questioning. I just want this question answered. When I read that quote, that really struck me as being, it wasn't that I wanted to understand. I just wanted to go back. I just wanted to go back to how it used to be. And I was unable to accept what was happening. So I think about sometimes when we get stuck and we're questioning. So we might have been overlooked for a job promotion. And so we've booked a time to see our boss because we want to say, why didn't I get the job? We've got to be really clear. Do we want to know why we didn't get the job? Or are we just trying to go back in time and say, I just want to go back to how it was when I was in the running for the job, or I just want the job, or I don't understand, or, at a certain point, you can't get the answer if the answer is not the one you want.
Right.
And it's time to stop asking the question.
Yeah.
Right? There's a time to accept that the question's actually been answered, and it's been answered in a way that you're not happy with. So go away and process that, not keep coming back to ask the question. Oh, I just don't understand why I wasn't chosen. Can you find some other words to tell me? Well, the other candidate was better. They had more experience than you had. Yeah, but... And then they come back the next week. Look, I've been thinking about what you said about how the other candidate had more experience, but I've actually had more experience. Shut up, go away. Yeah. We didn't pick you.
It's their ego speaking, right?
Yeah. So
it's like justify.
Yeah, so checking in with yourself that whenever you've got lots and lots of questions, is it actually that you just can't settle and sit with the answer that's already been provided? Or is it that there is genuinely something that's missing? Are you just trying to rewrite history and go back in time to when things were different or things were how they used to be? And in organisational change, we see a lot of this. So an organisation will slightly change its direction. Maybe it's right-sized, it's lost some people because of the prevailing economic conditions. Maybe it's had to switch from selling widget A to now it also sells widget B, and that makes people uncomfortable or uneasy. The length of time it takes you to adjust to that is going to determine how successful you'll be moving forward. If you're one of the person who just becomes one of those assholes that just in meetings for the next few months keeps saying, oh guys, I've just got a question. I don't understand why we're doing this. And just be careful about being that person who, with the wrong intention, I've just got a question. That for me is a real definition of an asshole. Someone who's like, yeah, I've got a question, when actually it's not a question, it's a statement or it's attack or it's a thinly veiled expression of sadness or disgust or mistrust. Don't frame that as a question if what you really want to make is a pulpit piece about what's going on. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. And I think if we look at the layers of Ask Holes, there's also the layer of Ask Hole, which is the person that comes in to try to clarify maybe why someone did something and just pounces a question on them. And the person who now has to answer that question is scrambling to come up with an answer. And it's just like, what a dick move, man.
Yeah.
It's just because you're in a position of power, or you now have set this person up with no platform to be able to justify or give you any rationale, and then you just walk away and go, well, it's probably because they're a dumbass. The only dumbass in that conversation was the asshole, and that was you, because you didn't set that person up, so you didn't preempt maybe the conversation. So let's move into maybe setting up the conversation by preempting, and that could be if you're going up to a manager, hi, I would need to make a time and I would like to discuss this, this, and this. And here's a little bit of background information that I've got and a couple of my initial thoughts. I would say that you're probably going to set yourself up for some real success there because they're going to give you some credibility. Or if it's the down or across and you just need to have a conversation around that, again, don't pounce it on them. Send them a text beforehand, say, look, I need to have a talk in about 15 minutes about this, this, and this. Could you just give this some thought? Is it a good time if you need it immediately? Or it could just be that you make a time to be discussing this. Don't freak them out by saying, hey, I need 15 minutes with you on Monday. And they spend the whole weekend freaking out going, why does my manager want to talk to me on Monday? Actually preempt, give some information, set people up for success, because otherwise you're part of the problem, not part of the solution.
We'll be right back.
If there was one skill that could double your income, advance your career, and increase your ability to influence, it is the skill of presenting. Whether it's on stage, in the boardroom, or at a job interview, the 30-Minute Presenter program will help take you to the next level. So check out our Instagram page, click the link in the bio, and get started on the 30-Minute Presenter program.
And you are absolutely an asshole every time you ask a question that you know the answer to.
Yeah.
And I see leaders do this a lot. They do it because what they're trying to do is expose the person to themselves. But when you do that in a group setting, so maybe you're at an SLT or a team meeting and you're saying something like, so Ish, what do you make of last week's sales? And Ish goes, I didn't know we were going to talk about sales. They were fine. Oh, fine.
Fine, were they?
So were they? And so what do you make of the Thursday when normally we would sell 7 memberships, and on Thursday we sold, how many did we sell on Thursday-ish?
Yeah.
When the person asking the question knows that we sold none on Thursday, and you're absolutely putting the person into that scrambling defense mode, what are you achieving?
Yeah.
Making them feel small? Woohoo! That's what our leaders set out to do every day. How can I make my people feel small today? Yeah. Yay. It's like, man.
I like it how we've got into levels of assholes now. So you can you can be an asshole.
I got one more.
Oh, okay, go. We've got another level of asshole.
I've got into this sales funnel. Well, this guy in New Zealand who's a personal trainer selling products, online programs and things for, in particular, the one that I've got hooked into is postmenopausal women.
You're right.
So I was interested to see what it was that he was offering, because we've got friends, Wendy Sweet, Tracy Minnick, doing amazing things in the menopause, pre-post, during menopause stuff with exercise and nutrition. It's all amazing. So I thought I'd get into his funnel. So I get this email that says, hey, Sasha, have you thought about your sleep? Question. That's great. I didn't reply. And the next email comes and it says, hey, Sasha, have you thought about your nutrition? And it's got some stuff about nutrition. I didn't reply. I know it's part of the marketing chain that I've signed up for. I'm just looking to see what it is. And so I'm probably about 6 weeks into getting this series of scheduled emails.
Yeah.
And then I got the kicker. And fitness is famous for this, and other industries do it too. Where as a last technique, if someone's not engaging with your content, you try and ask them questions about how bad they would feel if they don't take any action, right?
Yeah.
Which, you and I have taught this as a sales technique, so we're guilty, right? So, Sasha, you said you wanted to get in shape for your wedding. How would you feel on your wedding day if you were still in the shape you're in now? You're trying to get them to go, that would be terrible, take my money, right? So this guy, and let's just name him Ollie. Ollie, his name is. Ollie sent me an email that said, "Hi, Sasha, have you given up? Have you given up on your health and fitness goals? Have you given up wanting a better life? Have you given up wanting to be healthy and fit?" And so I went, you know what? That's a really passive-aggressive, ask-hole question. But it worked because what I did was I wrote him a reply. I said, "Guess what, Ollie? Fuck you." And I gave Ollie a piece of my mind. Then near the end of the email, I said, "By the way, Ollie, if this is not you and it's your virtual assistant in the Philippines who's filling your funnel for you, hi, hope you're having a great day, hope things are going well for you." And I thought, let's see what happens. And the very next email I got back was not from Ollie, replying to my very, I thought, amusing observation about his questioning technique. What I got instead was an email, obviously part of the funnel, that says, "It's time to get a little bit personal. Let me tell you about myself." And it shows a before and after photo, Ollie with the shoulder injury in hospital, and then Ollie naked. Not fully naked, but like from the waist up, naked, and looking absolutely ripped, shredded. Looks amazing. Doesn't really speak to my postmenopausal pain, but there he is looking amazing. So now I've sent him an email back that says, "Hey, semi-naked guy, nice reply. Send nudes. If this is still the virtual assistant in the Philippines, hope you're still having a good day." That kind of questioning technique where you go, "Oh, are you just not interested in actually aspiring to be the best version of yourself anymore?"
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't think there's any place for it. So one of the check-ins is if you're doing any kind of questioning or mentoring or sailing or practicing or helping people elevate their sense of who they are or to get a improvement, just check in with yourself that you don't have any ask-hole questions that are actually really manipulative.
Yeah.
Really manipulative in a way that's just ugly. Hey, Ollie, if you're listening, ring me.
I love it. With all the people that we know that are female, with your predisposition to maybe always kind of gravitate to a female side of the conversation, that it was a male called Ollie who was talking about menopause, that you ended up in the sales funnel.
I know. Well, the thing was, he says a lot of people criticise him for what would he know about menopause, but he's done a whole lot of research. So I'm like, let's give this kid the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if he's the one for me. Not so far, Ollie.
Okay, cool. So we've talked about levels of ask holes. You can be an ask hole if you just keep asking the same question over and over because you're not getting what you want. You can be an ask hole because you're not defined and clear and you're just asking a whole lot of random questions trying to get clear and end up maybe wasting people's time. You can be an ask hole because you're a manager and you're just setting your team up for failure by just pouncing questions on them. Or you can just be an ask hole because you're talking about a subject that maybe you shouldn't be talking about. You did. I'm not. No, that's fine. It's all good. Good chat, Sach. Good chat.
And can we circle back to when we were talking about toddlers who just ask why all the time or the same question? I reckon one of the ways to stop being an asshole is to identify when you are doing annoying things. So I know one of the annoying things I do is I come into the office here in Christchurch and I'll be working on my computer and I'll just ask the entire team in the office, "Hey guys, where are we filing the promotional photos now?" And someone will say, "In the folder that's called promotional photos." And I go, "Oh, thanks, great." And I'm sure everyone in the room is like, "You could probably just have a look first." And that's the same kind of thing around home. I know where virtually everything is in our house, but that's not the point. It would be really great if the people who lived in the house just had a look in maybe one or two places before they asked. So if you are repeatedly asking questions that are annoying for other people, have the self-awareness to go, actually, I can do better than that.
I've looked everywhere. I can't find
Or the people that go, can I borrow your X? And if you're doing that 2 or 3 times, Just get one of the X's. Get your own ruler, Jan.
My brother used to call me the tool router because every time I borrowed his tools, he reckoned they came back rooted. So he stopped loaning them to me, so I had to start buying my own. I looked after those ones. Yeah, get your own tools.